This is a Blind Mike investigation with your hosts, Kaylee and Blind Mike.
We're back, and hopefully I sound all right, as we had some technical issues before the show, but I'm hoping I sound okay. We are back with another Blind Mike investigation after people seem to enjoy last week's episode where we did a deep dive into Ethan Klein and his lawsuit. And this is just an episode that I've wanted to do for a while. I don't know how many of these we'll do, how consistently we'll do them, or anything like that. But since people seem to enjoy the Ethan Klein one last week, this is one I've been wanting to do for a long time. I didn't know if there was an appetite for it. And I said, why not give it a try this week? So Kaylee from Once Over with Kaylee and the Murder Games podcast is with us. Hello, Kaylee. Thank you for joining me again.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. Although I do have a very important question, which is, I feel like last week was Blind Mike Investigates, and this week is a Blind Mike Investigation. Are we changing things up
whatever.
a little bit here?
Whatever.
All right. Well, I mean, it's very
The
important.
acronym is funny. That's the only reason. Yeah. So we're back, and this week we're talking about BitBoy Crypto, aka Ben Armstrong. So I want to tell everyone about a little about my financial journey before we get into things here. If I could just take one moment, because while I'm not a legal expert in any way, I'm also not a financial advisor or a financial expert. What I did do is got very lucky with investing in that. I bought my first stock ever in February of 2020. I bought a share or maybe two of Penn National when they bought Barstool Sports because I'm a company man. And luckily, what happened after that is, I don't know if you know what went on in the world around that time, but I saw the price of that plummet. And I said, boy, I don't know much about investing, but if I feel like if I start buying things when they're at an all-time low, and once we can start to go outside again, maybe things will go up. And that's exactly what happened. So that got me into stocks, which ended up getting me into cryptocurrency. So the more I got into crypto, the more I started watching YouTube channels. When I got into stocks, I watched a lot of guys talk about it because I was very uneducated. So I watched people talk about it on YouTube. It was actually very informative. And what I found a lot of people doing is saying, kind of like I just did, they would say, I'm not a financial advisor. And then they would give all these tips of how to get rich quick.
All the financial advice.
They would tell you all these ways to make money. But I will say a lot of the guys, at least that I followed consistently, what they would constantly do, like there's a guy named Joseph Hogue who I follow, who I think was a financial advisor. And he always says, listen, you're not going to make money overnight. So don't expect to get rich tomorrow based on the things I'm telling you. Even if I tell you about a stock, there's a chance it goes down. He's very realistic about it. Some of these people were hucksters, grifters, whatever you want to call them. And there's one guy who I thought had the particular energy of, if you've ever watched, Kaylee, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the world of sports gambling.
But zero.
Well, in sports betting, there's a lot, especially like on like late night TV or sports talk radio. Some people are good at it. Like Scott Farrell, I remember, was always like entertaining late at night on Fox Sports Radio. And some guys are very bad at it. Like there's some guys that will tell you they have a market-based strategy and bore the shit out of you and tell you that it's guaranteed to make money. But a lot of these sports gambling guys, they have this like used car salesman energy. And that's the feeling I got when watching Ben Armstrong, or as I knew him, BitBoy Crypto. I think he would have been great at sports talk radio. He had that kind of a vibe, but he got into crypto, which he seemed very well versed in. Like he does know the world of crypto as much as any other guy on YouTube. And what BitBoy Crypto did is because of that kind of common man factor that he had, he was able to build his YouTube channel into one that had over 1.5 million followers. And it was all driven by his personality. Even the bigger it got and the more production value it had, it was based around him and his tips. I always got a weird vibe from him. So I never really watched his channel, even as he got kind of mainstream, as much as cryptocurrency could have gotten mainstream in 2020, 2021. Like I had friends that told me they were watching BitBoy Crypto. And I was always
for the advice.
For the advice, yes. And he was an entertaining enough guy, but I think people thought he knew what he was talking about. And I never really followed him. So the second time I got lucky in this story is about a year ago. About a year ago, for whatever reason, he randomly popped into my head. And I said, whatever happened? I don't get his videos in my algorithm anymore. Whatever happened to that guy? And so I did a little investigating. And what I found through that journey, I couldn't have imagined. I just thought maybe like his YouTube channel died, but that's what we're uncovering here today is the glorious findings that I had, because I always hated this guy. So to watch his demise was so nourishing to me. I was so glad I got to do it. So
Mike,
that is why we're talking about Ben Armstrong here today.
I have so many things to say about this. First of all, I want to give you a little bit of my history when it comes to BitBoy crypto.
Please.
I had no idea who he was. And I am actually a cryptocurrency person. I'll give you the backstory on that in a moment. But I had no idea who he was. I started researching him for this episode, realized that I had heard of tons of lawsuits that he had been involved in
Yes.
that I had no idea was this guy. Like, it was all the same guy. I was like, oh, that was that guy. Oh, that was that guy. Oh, this horrible thing where he had an affair was that guy. Like, I just kept hearing about him. And what is incredible about BitBoy Crypto is that despite the fact that he was such a powerhouse in the cryptocurrency sphere, and despite the fact that he was such a powerhouse on YouTube, he still managed to mess it up so royally that we get to finally investigate him today. And I don't know that anybody has ever done a full deep dive into this. He gets talked about in very short-winded videos. He gets talked about whenever he has a specific event, but nobody talks about him overall. And that's why I am so excited about tonight's show. Like, I cannot wait.
That's one reason I wanted to do like a deep dive into him, is because the cryptocurrency world is invested in him on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a guy, Atosy, that we're going to talk about who has personal dealings, and he's done a great job covering Ben Armstrong. But this stuff it's fleeting but I'm interested in this guy the way I am, like with Ethan Klein last week, or any like Why You Laughing subjects. I'm interested in him as a whole, and to watch his rise and how big he was. And he really started building something with the crypto world that like I saw with places like Barstool and Pat McAfee and people like that, where he had this world he was creating that he was expanding into, bringing other personalities onto his YouTube channel. He was buying offices, and all of a sudden he had producers and production value in his shows. And so he really was getting bigger and bigger. And that personality is a big part of it. And there's guys that I've talked about on this channel before, like Coach HP. There's certain people that always want, John Sirasani is another one. People that love the idea of having rich and successful personalities around them. And I remember BitBoy was one of those. He always wanted the attention of Dave Portnoy and other people in that space, people who were popular, who could get more eyes on him. And I always found that odd as a guy who was just trying to tell you that the uses of Ethereum. Like, that seems strange to me, to want to be famous just for giving, you know, the basic functions of cryptocurrency.
What I think is so interesting about BitBoy when it comes to other cryptocurrency influencers is that in addition to having a pattern of success and having interesting thoughts on cryptocurrency and its universe, is that he also has a pattern of harassment, which you and I will surely outline as the night goes on. But it is so rare to have a pattern of harassment. Typically, when somebody in the crypto world has a pitfall, when they mess up and they screw something up, they mess it up once and then they never mess it up again.
They take a nap. They leave the press conference and they take a nap.
Ben Armstrong just does it again and again and again and again. And I've never seen anybody do this before. I mean, it's perhaps one of the craziest financial schemes that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, he had, and the reason I draw that like sports talk radio persona is that his personality really fits that. But also this thing, it's almost like he's a guy, an old school radio guy who keeps popping up in different markets. Like one fizzles out and fails, and so he moves to the next city. But he's doing it all on the internet, so we get to watch all of it, which is interesting.
So I would love, before we get into him, I would love to tell you a little bit about my history. You just told me a little bit about your history with crypto and with investments. I would love to tell you a little bit about mine, because I got into cryptocurrency very early on. So I started mining Bitcoin in 2010
Ooh,
when Bitcoin
really?
was worth less than $1
Yeah.
a coin. And so my ex-husband and I, we realized that this was going to be something new and exciting, and we were both really excited about cryptocurrency because one of the things that's exciting specifically about cryptocurrency is that we have to trust who is handling our money. And I don't trust the government. I will be the first to say I don't. In no way, shape, or form do I trust the government. I trust almost nobody. And because of that, I needed to find an alternative. And I trust math. I have a degree in math. I grew up with 2 economists as parents. And so crypto was very appealing to me very early on. So I got into crypto extremely, extremely early on. At the time that I was into this stuff and mining myself, I was doing things like Silk Road was still a thing at this time. And so the only things that you could do on Silk Road was you could buy drugs or you could buy socks. So they wanted to have one tangible thing on Silk Road. So you could buy socks.
Makes sense.
Or drugs. My ex-husband decided to buy a bunch of drugs, which was why I eventually...
All right.
No. That was actually why I ended up divorcing him. Because even though cryptocurrency made it so that you could anonymously buy the drugs, you still had to get them sent to you, which meant that we were just receiving a whole bunch of drugs in our mailbox. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die in
Pretty cool.
jail. Yeah, he was a very cool dude.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that people like BitBoy Crypto are interesting to me is because this is taking it another step further. So I got into Bitcoin because I was interested in the math behind it, and I thought that that was really exciting. What I always had a challenge getting into was things like the meme coins, and I never knew how to make money on that. And BitBoy Crypto was kind of explaining to all of us, hey, here's a way that you can make money off of things that aren't necessarily Bitcoin, because at some point it became unprofitable to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah, and
so
there's a point
I got lucky.
There's a point that he makes with some of this stuff that I will credit's the wrong word, but I will like have his back on a little bit. But let's get into our clips and see where we start the journey, because a lot of people probably don't know who the fuck we're talking about. So let's paint the picture of Ben Armstrong here. Where we start?
Okay, most psychotic downfall. Is that where we want to start?
Oh, all right.
Sounds exciting.
Feels like too early, but let's see.
Yeah, it's called Pump and Dump.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Around the same time BitBoy was getting popular, people began noticing odd choices in the coins Ben was promoting, and some users on Reddit even speculated that he could be running a pump and dump scheme, with a post reading, "Yesterday he dropped a video titled Top 5 Coins Crushing the Market Now, Massive Crypto Gains." The video showcases top 5 altcoin picks for short-term gains. His top pick was Frontier, a relatively small sub 100 million market cap coin. He didn't even give any reasons why this was his top pick. All he did was tease a video he was going to drop the next day. Immediately, Frontier doubled in price. Is this legal? By the 3rd of November 2021, these concerns would spread beyond Reddit, as crypto podcaster Anthony Pompliano uploaded a video calling Ben out for manipulating his audience and promoting pump and dump schemes on his channel.
This guy BitBoy Crypto, who's talking all this shit, saying that we sound like boomers on our altcoin takes. Here's my deal. I refuse to go stuff coins down the audience's throat so that I can pump my own bags. But that's exactly what's happening over there. If you go and you look at the headlines, at the titles, etc., there's literally people that are telling you absolute trash shit coins are going to $10, $15, $20 that are sitting at less than a penny or sitting at a couple of cents. And ultimately what occurs is you're watching people who are literally taking their money, they're investing in things, and then they're running to the audience, and they're not explaining to anybody what is actually going on, why there's true value being built, interviewing the founders, or any of that stuff. All they're telling you is price targets. And what they're trying to do is to literally pump up assets so that they can later sell them.
Yeah, so Pomp is a guy, Anthony Pompliano. I've followed him for a long time, and he's a legitimate guy. He's on, for whatever this is worth, he's on like CNBC and channels like that. Like he's trusted by, relatively mainstream media, like I said, for whatever that means to you. I also should have said this earlier. If you think this is like too inside crypto wonky stuff, don't worry. We're gonna get into the juicy stuff soon. We're gonna get into the more salacious stuff in a minute. But I just want to properly set it up by talking about this, because I think this relates to exactly what Kaylee was talking about a minute ago, with like the meme coins. And just to put it in a little simpler terms, it's like the idea of years ago advocating for Doge and Shiba Inu. BitBoy was a big Shiba Inu guy. And one of the arguments, it might even be in one of these clips, but one of the arguments he makes to Anthony Pompliano is, hey, if you don't think people can make money off of Doge or Shiba Inu, you're wrong. I'm not saying they're worth the same as Bitcoin. What I'm saying is you can make money off of these things.
Oh, you absolutely can.
Of course. He said, but he says that to win an argument. What's wrong with that is the way he goes about promoting these things. He talks about them like these are surefire moneymakers. Like these will be at this price by this date. And Anthony Pompliano, again, in one of these clips, he calls out Anthony Pompliano and says, hey, you predicted that we'll have a $20 million Bitcoin or something like that. I think there's a massive difference because I've listened to both guys. And Anthony Pompliano, I don't know if he said $20 million Bitcoin, but he will say Bitcoin will get to what seems like an astronomical number. And then Anthony Pompliano will lay it out and say, here's why. Because if Bitcoin surpasses the value of gold, this is how much mathematically it would have to be worth. Or if like now only 7% of the globe owns Bitcoin. If 70% of the globe owns Bitcoin, here's what the price would be. You know what I mean? Like they do mathematics like that. Whereas Ben, BitBoy Crypto, will just say, hey, XRP will be worth $570. And he puts a lot of fluff around why that is. But he'll even say it'll be worth that by August. And you're like, well, that seems a little odd.
And that's why I have always, as both an investor and also now as watching stuff like Ben Armstrong, have been skeptical of things like this, is because I trust the math, and I know that math exists when it comes to Bitcoin. And one of the things that is incredible about Bitcoin and how it was set up is that the blockchain was set up in a way so that I understand these are the number of coins that exist. I am never going to find random coins in my backyard like I would with gold. Nobody is ever going to buy a house, start digging it up, and realize that there's gold under their backyard, and now all of a sudden the price of gold changes. Right. I understand exactly what it is, and my problem always with the meme coins, and my problem similarly with Ben Armstrong, is that when you're making things up and you're setting the value yourself, that means effectively you are the government. And the thing that I like about cryptocurrency is that you aren't the government.
Right. Yeah. He starts talking Bitcoin and Bencoin and all these things where like he got people involved. But here's the real con, in my opinion, because I would watch BitBoy, and the more I got to know, the more I watched other channels and believe me, while I own some Bitcoin, I still don't understand it as well as like my buddy Steve Robinson could probably tell you, go on for hours and hours and talk about Bitcoin. I have a really rudimentary understanding of it. Could I probably tell you more about it than the average guy walking down the street at this point? Maybe, but it's close, you know? So I have a pretty basic understanding of it, but the more I did grow to learn about it, the more I realized the stuff that Ben was saying, like he had a good understanding of crypto. And I think he used that to his advantage in a lot of cases.
Next one up is clickbait. And this is all thanks to Internet Anarchist on this package.
Yes. Yeah. All these guys, I wanted to make sure to give them credit today, because what we talked about last week, but also because they all did a very good job in short form chronicling the BitBoy story.
All right, here we go. Clickbait.
First one that we have here is this, where over the summer, about 2 months ago, you told people, do not buy Bitcoin. Urgent crypto message 2021. Bitcoin's at $48,000, is now at $60,000.
We were telling people to buy.
The next one we have here is that the Dogecoin price, Dogecoin blasting to $5 in 2021. at the absolute top. It's at 27 cents now. And then the next one that we have is that XRP is going to $589.
Come on,
You
Pump.
think it's funny, but you think it's
can't
funny.
be serious with this. You just did a video.
Oh, just
saying
for
Bitcoin's
for
going to
any
20
for anyone that doesn't know what that means, XRP. This was probably 5 years ago. XRP just pumped to about $3 just
Yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah, baby.
So that is a wild prediction that old Benny made.
Bitcoin's at 118 and Doge is at 21 cents today.
Yes.
So that's where we stand.
$20 million. That's asinine.
I did not say
Like,
that. No,
we
just so
all
we're
use
clear.
clickbait.
Just so we're
We
clear.
all use clickbait.
As their debate dragged on, Ben became increasingly aggravated with the fact that things weren't going the way he expected, and he exploded into a demented rant when he couldn't deny the facts anymore.
We do what we say that we do. And you're over here saying that I shill shit coins. And that yesterday you were saying, like, we just go and we say, go buy this and then we sell bags. Not one single time have I
He's getting
ever done
emotional.
that. And the stuff and the words that come out of your mouth that buy into the meme culture in the echo chamber that you live in, it's asinine, Pump. It really is. You're out here assassinating people's characters. All I said was, I didn't agree with the way that you worded that video. That's literally all I said, and it's led to all this. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you.
He's tearing up because of how passionate he is about and this is where he always struck me as a phony. And like again, for any sports talk radio fans out there or fans of gambling, I'm sure you can see the similarities where again, he has logical arguments. Like, he's right when he says, hey, we all use clickbait. That's all I see in the crypto world. But there are a lot of videos that I click on that say, why Bitcoin will be worth $20 million. And like I said, then you click on the video, and even sometimes they say it won't be. but sometimes they give you the mathematical breakdown of how it could get there and why it might eventually be someday. Whereas what Ben seemed to be saying was giving you predictions the way, like Stu Feiner would, where he's like, he's got a lock on the Colts game this week. And it just does. Anyone that follows it enough knows finances don't work that way.
No, they absolutely don't. And again, that is why Bitcoin worked and the meme coins were all the predecessors, not even just necessarily the meme coins, but like everything that came after Bitcoin. Why it doesn't function quite as well is because when you are creating something that is based on trust, which cryptocurrency must be, the antithesis of trust is having a guy, regardless of who that guy is, regardless of if at this point in time we trusted BitBoy crypto, you cannot rely on one person for trust.
Right. I never feel bad, and this is the argument I made with Hawk Tua, where like,
yeah,
I don't give if you lost your house buying Hawk Tua coin or whatever the fuck it was, I have no sympathy for you. Like, that sucks. It's unfortunate, but I have no sympathy for you. Like, you gambled and you lost. The slight difference with Ben is that he kind of presented himself as an expert, whereas Hawk Tua was clearly just some trailer trash idiot. Well, I don't know, y'all got to buy meme coin because that's what Dave Portnoy is doing, and that's what all the celebrities are doing. So Logan Paul told me to buy Bitcoin, Like, she's just an idiot, so no one would trust her.
I don't know that I see a huge difference, though, because I trust the two of them equally little. So
I agree with you, but I guess the point a lot of other crypto, I 100% agree with you. I trust them both equally little. I guess where I think people find there to be a difference is the way Ben presents himself as some kind of expert.
Yeah, he definitely did, especially in his early days. And for years, he was highly respected.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is crazy now that we know what happened.
Yeah, and there's even there's channels I still like Altcoin Daily. Those guys seem to be sensible guys, and they have interviews with Ben on there where like they kind of bought into his bullshit a little bit. So it makes you question everyone involved. But where are we going next, Casey?
Well, Mike, we got some super chats. I think we should probably just pound through these real quick so we don't have like 20 to get through at the end here.
Right.
Not Matt Fish for $1.99. Lucy's Shallow Hal review was great.
Oh, good.
I
Go check that out. Once over with Kaylee. Go check that out.
I feel fatter than ever.
Weird Comet, €5, I think. Before we start, thoughts on what NLO saying someone wants a deal could be about? Is his answer to Steel Toe's HRO creating problems?
Oh, I'm not aware of this. I'll have to
Yeah,
get
I was gonna
invested in
say-
this.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but I have not actually heard NLO's comment someone wants a deal.
All right,
I
I'll look
know
into
there
that.
has been some talk about settlements, which does not make sense for an HRO, but
Interesting.
I don't know any more than that.
Just another lawsuit Mike missed out on. Chad's missing upper lip for $1.99. What's with the BS shirt, Kaylee?
All right, my boobs aren't out. I'm wearing a metal shirt. It's fine.
I told her here she doesn't have to do that. You know, she's just we see her as a person here, for God's sake.
Yes,
Oh,
we
Mike, they're turning
see
against you.
her
That's
as a
I'm
person.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, folks.
Dominic, $1.99. Mike is hooked.
You're damn right.
Thank you, Dominic. Chad's missing upper lip at $1.99. I forgot. Hashtag FireBlat.
We love
Chri-
Blatt.
Christian Blatt, he's an all right guy. I like Christian.
I
Christian's
love
great.
him.
Always sends us stuff for who are these socials. That's all I care about.
Yeah, he owes me a quesadilla. Joe from Virginia, $1.99. Love these investigations. Keep them coming.
You got it, buddy.
That's right. And last one here. Again, not Matt Fish. $1.99. Gotta call this the blind eyewitness news. That's pretty good.
Something. We'll tinker with the title still.
I still like that last time it was Blind Mike Investigates, and this week it's a
Well,
Blind
whatever.
Mike Investigation. So.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's technically all the same stuff. So you know.
Yeah.
Similar.
Next one here we going is Lambo time.
Okay,
Oh,
so this was
yeah.
big. It wasn't just that he was rich. He was upset. And there's this thing in the crypto world, for whatever reason. Lamborghinis were always, I'm not a car guy, as you can imagine. There are a lot of nice cars out there. But for some reason, a Lambo is always what people obsessed over. So the Lambo became the central image of, or the central figure of Ben's image. He would always talk about having a Lamborghini, and that meant him having a Lamborghini was the sole representation of him being successful. Because he had a Lambo, that meant he knew what he was talking about.
In 2020, Ben Armstrong faced a major scandal involving his Lamborghini. He often showed off the car in his videos as a symbol of his success. However, things took a turn when the Lamborghini was reported stolen. It wasn't just the theft that caused trouble. It was revealed that Armstrong hadn't been honest about owning the car. He was behind on payments and might have misled his audience about his wealth. This made people question his honesty. The fallout was quick and harsh. Many of his followers felt deceived and lost trust in him. The crypto community, which values transparency, was especially critical. Brands and projects started to distance themselves from Armstrong, fearing negative publicity. This scandal was so damaging because it contradicted the image Armstrong had built. He had portrayed himself as a successful and wealthy crypto expert. The truth that he might have been living beyond his means hurt his credibility.
It's amazing to me. I'm a fairly dumb guy, and it's always encouraging to see there are people dumber than me out there. Because this guy seemed like a shyster to me from the second I watched his videos. The idea that he was deceiving people is hilarious to me. That people were like, "What? He was lying? The guy bragging constantly about having a Lamborghini? That's crazy." Well, I'll tell you this: people that can afford Lamborghinis don't usually brag about having them constantly. It's like, oh yeah, the Lamborghini, big deal. It's next to my 8 other cars. Who gives a shit? But Ben was constantly putting it in his videos, and I guess this deceived some people. So the rubes that thought he was reliable, and I will say, as much as I'm bashing them, some of them were probably people that thought like, oh, it's a bit of a character, but like he's a wealthy guy and he knows what he's talking about. Because I keep going back to the fact that he carried himself fairly well. He seemed like a guy that was a lot of bluster, but was still knowledgeable at the end of the day. So I can understand some people being like, oh, it wasn't a character. He was just an asshole.
In addition to bragging about his Lamborghini, he was doing things at this time where his thumbnails would have like a Rolex in the picture of the thumbnail. So like he had clout because he clearly had money in order to buy some things. How many of those things was he faking? We have no idea. But it very much appeared that we could trust him with our finances because he somehow had made money.
Yeah, but another thing I would keep going back to is like the idea of Bitcoin would be that in 10 or 20 years, it's going to be worth so much more than it is right now. Why are you selling
I
everything
never
you
sell
have to
anything.
buy a
You
right?
don't sell
Right.
anything.
Where are you getting
You
these
don't sell
watches
anything.
and Lamborghinis? It
I
doesn't.
sit on everything. I sit on everything. I never, and again, that is from my thank you. That's from my economics background. I have Bitcoin that I got in 2010.
Yeah.
Still,
It's why I
because-
like again. I'll shout out my boy Joseph Hogue. I like a boring old man.
Yeah.
If you watch him, he's just a boring old guy that gives finance. That's who I want my financial advice from, not a guy who's
Yes.
flashing Rolexes and Lamborghinis.
Yes. Also, Mike, I have to completely sidetrack us for 1 second because I know you do Who Are These Socials with Carl.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you guys ever covered the Lamborghini crash in Rochester. Are you
I don't
aware
think
of
so.
that?
I don't believe so.
There is a very comical. I actually just sent Casey Day a picture of it if he wants to put it up, if he can. A picture of a very rich guy in Rochester, New York, crashed his Lamborghini into a fire hydrant, flooded the entire street, and then fled because he was clearly drunk when he did it. He later got caught, unsurprisingly, because who else has a Lamborghini in Rochester, New York? It's this one guy. It's a yellow Lamborghini at that. Completely flooded the entire street. And when he finally got arrested, it turned out that he was the owner of a pawn shop and is, again, I would highly recommend. It's a little bit of old news, but I would recommend checking into that.
Lamborghinis
Who
might
Are These
actually just
Socials?
be Lamborghinis might be trash cars because it seems like every douchebag that gets a few dollars ends up having one. So
Well, maybe it's just easier to buy.
I guess for whatever reason, that's the symbol of guys like that you just mentioned in BitBoy Crypto. So let's keep going.
Up next is Bencoin.
Yeah, this is where he really started getting into trouble because, like I said, if you make a video that says, "Hey, Bitcoin's going to be worth X amount in X amount of time," to me, that's not that big a deal. It's a prediction based on what seems like an educated guess, and if you're wrong, I don't really give a fuck as long as you give good logic. If your logic makes sense to me, I don't really give a fuck if you were wrong or your time frame was off or whatever. Where you start losing me is when you get into Bencoin, and I'll shout out the great Dave Portnoy, who at least when he started Jail Stool or whatever it was, he did it under the guise of like, I don't really get what the fuck this is, so buy it, I guess. I'm going to try and do it in a way that doesn't cost people money. And even he got shit for that. So to create something called Bencoin, to be as smug, to not think that sounds ridiculous, you know? The idea, like if I made Geary bucks today and just started passing them out, the idea that people wouldn't laugh at me, they've got my face on them, you know? Like,
I mean, I would buy it. I'm in.
I'm in. Maybe I'm onto something.
I'm going to start promoting it right now. I do want to point out, though, before he made Bencoin, before he made this, about a month before he made Bencoin, there was already a class action lawsuit filed against him based upon the fact that he had unregistered securities promotion.
And I'm not sure if that's the case that I'm thinking of, but there was also Bcoin. That was different than Bencoin. Bcoin was his first idea. So when you hear Anthony Pompliano talking about his predictions for like Shiba Inu and stuff, that was just the first itch that Ben's. He said, "Hey, if Shiba Inu works, why not Bcoin or why not Bencoin?" So you're right. Bencoin was not his first foray into that world,
and it wasn't his first lawsuit. Crazy enough.
No, he's involved in a lot of lawsuits, which we'll talk about.
Something weird happened. One morning, we all woke up in August of 2023, and Ben was pushing a Bencoin.
We got to the top 300 in 3 days, but our goal is to become a top 20 project. We're taking something that was launched with a meme coin with no utility, and we're turning it into something with utility that's actually doing something for the good of crypto.
The idea was that this token...
Hold on, I think right there is already, to me, where he's in trouble. Because again, if you're like, hey, Bencoin, we'll see if we can make it into something. I appreciate you guys. getting us into the top 300. We're working on it, but we'll see. If he had a little, he's talking about it the way people talk about Bitcoin being this decentralized thing. He's Ben. I don't get how people weren't realizing that, but where he was
centralized around Ben,
where he was a smart broadcaster, is he did what so many of the greats before him, like Howard Stern, would do. Is he created a cult-like mentality with his following. He had the Bit Squad. So the Bit Squad, these fucking morons, were like, hey, let's get Bencoin into the top 300. That meant something to them. So he's a much smarter broadcaster, I think. I keep going, I wish he just covered the fucking Dolphins or something, Like he should have focused on sports or something like that, because the world of finance can get you into trouble.
A marketing genius, some might say.
For sure.
Should be able to be used as some form of bargaining tool that he could use to talk to Congress and make projects and push crypto. But there seemed to be a rug pull at the end of August where he sold all of his Bencoin and disappeared, allegedly. He was then removed from BitBoy Crypto, the channel that he started himself, in what some people are calling a revolt, and he disappeared. He was removed from all branding. Hosts that were set up over the last 6 months remained on the show. AJ, TJ, many others. The channel continues to create content, and the channel continues to create educational content, do the live streams, and continue like normal. And Ben Armstrong was supposedly relapsing into his former addiction.
So this is where things start to get crazy. It cut off there. What is the channel giving that synopsis, Casey? Casey left.
Sorry. No, I'm sorry. I was muted. That one is Alan Spicer.
All right. Thank you, Alan Spicer. What he's describing there is where things start to get crazy. With the thing with BitBoy is his channel got so big. Like I said, over 1.5 million subscribers. That's where it becomes like an empire. That's where you really start making some serious money and start expanding things. Hopefully I have some idea someday, but as of right now, I have no idea how you can put yourself in a situation where you can be overthrown on your own YouTube channel. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, I do think as a business move, while the guy I'm sure was intolerable to work with at times, he just has that vibe about him. I do think as a business move, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's trying to get the central personality thrown out of, it would be like trying to get Pat McAfee thrown out of fucking Heartland or whatever he owned, or Bill Simmons thrown out of The Ringer. Like the personality that drives that brand and made it into the thing that it is today, it usually does not work to say, oh, we're just going to put a different guy, because unlike so many other crypto channels, that was personality driven. A lot of these other channels are information driven, where some other guy, in this case TJ, could have slid in and people probably wouldn't even noticed on a lot of other channels. But what Ben was very smart in doing is building up the Bit Squad and having a loyal audience. So that's where this gets a little murky, in that they threw out the guy that everyone was following, and now it became a war among the fans, which is rarely seen in finance YouTube.
But so to me, that's what makes it even more salacious, because if I love a band and then all of a sudden they throw out their front man, and now all of a sudden they don't have the same voice, it's not the same vocals, and all of a sudden everything sounds different. I no longer like that band. But I know that they threw that guy out because they really fucking hated him.
Oh, sure.
I know. I know that guy was that much of a problem that they could no longer deal with him. And so when this happened, when he got upheaved from what he had created, that should have been the indicator to everybody. Stop trusting everything that he says, because they literally, the people that are closest to him no longer want to deal with him. And yet 2023 was the least of his problems. I mean, he had multiple comebacks after this.
Yeah, things are still okay then.
Why would you ever trust somebody who got thrown off of their literal throne?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and he's a guy that did struggle with drug addiction and was honest and open about that, so he would talk about it a lot, and I think that's what had people rally around him a little bit. He presents it as, I don't know enough about how true this is. So TJ, one of the guys that overthrew him, BitBoy presents that as like he brought his buddy TJ in, and that TJ implemented his dad as CFO and had all this power. And they made it seem like they were friends. That happens often in business partnerships where you're friends at the start, and then just life happens and things happen and personalities happen that drive you apart. That's definitely very possible. But like you said, Kelly, it seems like he was getting insufferable to work with. And as we watch his live stream, whenever we get there, I think you're going to see a little more of what might have been happening. Now, BitBoy claims he definitely was not using drugs. He claims that a lot. But you start to see erratic behavior where if it's not drug use, that's almost more concerning because it's like, this is just how you behave? Like, that's crazy.
I would rather you be doing lots and lots of drugs.
Definitely.
We are to the Atosy, is that how you say his name? Lawsuit?
Yes. I love this guy. This is the first. So, like I said, a year plus ago, when I said, whatever happened to BitBoy? This is what I found. I found this guy, Atosy, who takes no prisoners. I highly recommend go check out Atosy's video if you've made it this far into this and you're interested more in the Ben Armstrong saga. Go check out his battle with Atosy. We have a couple clips, but Atosy does not back down to Benny at all.
Yeah, this is the Atosy lawsuit where someone was
Charge.
So Atosy basically made a video, kind of like we're talking about today, where he's like, "Hey, Ben started talking about the price of Ethereum and all this crap, and none of it ever came to fruition." He called him out, and Benny took umbrage with that.
Ever done that?
So I made my video stating that in my opinion, he was a dirtbag because he promoted garbage like this. Here's a quick clip of that for context. He simply cannot be trusted with financial advice because you don't know if he's trying to enrich you or himself. Here's a prime example of that. So he made a video a while back on a token or a cryptocurrency where the price could only go up.
What if I told you there's a project guaranteed to increase in price? I know you would probably want to jump in, but I'm sure the first thought you would have would be, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Well, this is where we get into the complicated gray areas of decentralized finance.
What was that, BitBoy? A project that's guaranteed to go up in price? Let's see where this project is today. Wow. Would you look at that? His response to that was to then send multiple people to my house and give me multiple cease and desists. And this is after he bullied multiple smaller YouTube channels to delete their videos on him. But I decided to stand my ground because I believe that my video helped people understand that he was getting paid to sell absolute garbage investments. So what happened next was not fun at all. I was served a lawsuit by BitBoy improperly because the dude opened my door and threw the lawsuit at me. And that couldn't have been worse timing because I was about to have my firstborn child like within 24 hours of being served.
So Atosy is the man because a lot of people would have backed down and gotten scared, and it seems like, certainly the way he presents himself, it seems like BitBoy has enough money at this time to go after him and cost Atosy a lot of money. And Atosy said, you know what, I'm going to turn to the internet. And he raised money enough to scare Ben into dropping the lawsuit, which we'll talk about in a second. But that clip that Atosy played is why I was, from the second I saw this guy, I was like, I'm sorry. The projects he's saying, he's guaranteeing this will go up in price. And again, people will do that with Bitcoin. And I think even that is wrong.
You can't say things like that.
Even
the stocks are not guaranteed to go up. If
even
I hold
that
on
is
to
wrong.
stocks for long enough, perhaps it will go up.
Right.
That would be wonderful.
Even to say like VOO, like the S&P 500 ETF,
Yep.
if you say I guaranteed VOO will go up, you can't say that. The market might fucking crash tomorrow.
Wrong.
You can't say that shit. But like, if I see a channel doing that, I'm like, I get, even though you're not supposed to, I get what they're trying to say. With Ben, it was always some project that was enriching him. Like Atosy put it perfectly. He's like, his audience didn't know if he was trying to enrich them or himself. Because I was like, it's literally Bencoin. What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. So I want to bring a little bit of backstory to Atosy because something that was really interesting about him at this time, I was at this time in history, this was like 2022-ish, and I was a giant nerd for YouTube drama.
Nice.
And Atosy was actually in a ton of YouTube drama at this time.
Okay.
When Ben filed the lawsuit against Atosy was at his low point. He had been a huge YouTube channel. He had been a giant powerhouse on YouTube. And then he did something that got him canceled. I can't even remember what it was at this point, but he got canceled. And then he dropped his video explaining that Ben Armstrong was suing him. And people all of a sudden rallied with him again.
Oh,
And
I didn't even realize that's what brought him back to life, because those videos have like over 1 million views.
Yes. So that was literally, so the flashbacks that we just saw in the Atosy clip that you just played were the original video that brought him back. And that was his wife was pregnant. His wife was like 8 months pregnant. He got served with this lawsuit and he had no idea what to do. And he handled it so extremely well. And I feel like that truly was the downfall of BitBoy Crypto, because it was the first time where somebody challenged him back.
Right. Well, we'll see that. Let's play our next clip because we'll see the Atosy explain that here, I think.
Yeah, fighting back is the next.
Yeah.
Period. Then Kobe blessed me infinitely by donating $100,000, and I received roughly another $100,000 from you guys. And suddenly his energy completely switched up because now he was worried this is actually going to go to court.
We did not want this to become public. I guess when I decided to do this back in November, I wanted to keep this behind closed doors. I've had another lawsuit. It was behind closed doors, and it worked out great. And I think that both parties were happy, and it was settled, and everything about it worked out.
I'm still confused that he thought I would be quiet about this, but I'm also surprised that he said, yeah, last time I sued someone, it stayed private and we both ended up happy. Yeah, I'm sure whoever was sued from you was really happy with that.
Obviously, if this would have been public, I wouldn't have done it. Not because I want to hide it, but all we were trying to do was get him to take down the video that had factually wrong information that has implications for me as a person. And, when my kids go and they Google their dad, what comes up?
Oh, unfortunately, this case, I think, is what comes up.
It's worse than that at this point.
Well, Atosy does. It's a great decimation of BitBoy, and if you're wondering, according to Atosy at least, all that money that was raised in the GoFundMe was refunded. It was purely for that lawsuit, and it did what it needed to do because it intimidated Ben into going, oh shit, I can't just bully this guy. So what Ben was kind of known for doing in these circles is like maybe he would see a channel like mine. Like if I did this video 4 years ago, Ben might have seen a channel like mine and said, oh, I could, this guy, if I threaten to sue this guy, he'll get scared. He'll take his video down of me and I'll win because I can, run him out of money basically. Atosy put him in a position where he's like, all right, let's see how it plays out. And Ben, whose finances may not have been on the up and up, at least to what he was describing them as, was like, oh, fuck, this might end up costing me a lot of money. I can't just intimidate him. I have to actually prove that I have a ton of money. So as he did with Anthony Pompliano, as we'll see him do another time down the road here, he resorts to basically getting like tearful and having these like, what are my kids going to think when they Google their dad? I don't know. They're going to think he intimidates small YouTube channels?
Yeah. What kind of an idiot doesn't realize that lawsuits are public? I'm pretty sure that one of Ben's direct quotes about this was, I didn't understand the Streisand effect, which is if I call attention to it, then of course it's going to have attention. What, like, I literally, and I understand that this was before a lot of his controversies, so maybe he didn't understand how controversies worked on the internet. Yeah. But if you're going to come at Atosy, who again at the time was a huge voice on YouTube, how did you not think that it was going to become public? You dumb
I'll tell you
dummy.
why. I'll tell you why. Because whatever he's referring to there, my assumption is he went after a channel that was scared. And it's probably some fucking nerd that likes talking about XRP and saw that they got a cease and desist or some letter and was like, oh, fuck, Ben, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. Let's all water under the bridge. What do you say, Benny? And he got such a thrill from that. And like with all this bluster that you see, he thinks he's one of these bombastic guys. and the
Yeah.
Bit Squad is behind him, and he kind of thought he could bully and intimidate anyone on the internet. And when Atosy got all that money, I think it was an eye-opening thing to Ben. I don't think it changed the way he behaved at all. But I think it was eye-opening in the sense of like, oh, I'm not Teflon. There are people out there that think I'm a fucking joke. Like I said, I wasn't invested enough in that. Like I thought like, oh, this guy seems like kind of a fraud. I wish I had looked more into it at the time because I'm sure were people that had the same thought as me, but were more in depth into taking him down and being like, this guy can't do this. And I'm sure that's what everyone that gave to Atosy in that GoFundMe was like. I just don't like the idea that Bencoin is being promoted on the internet.
Well, and again, I think that the thing that's so incredibly unique about that is that Atosy was not in the crypto sphere. He was in the YouTube gossip sphere. So
Right.
the fact that people were supporting him in this challenging time, especially when he had effectively been canceled shortly before this, meant that he truly did have a voice on the internet.
Yeah.
And Ben got you're totally right. It's an intimidation factor. It's, oh my God, I tried this before and it worked, and now it's not working at all.
Yeah. And I credit Atosy for doing that. And I also credit guys like Anthony Pompliano, because I think Anthony Pompliano, who does, and he has some investment in Bitcoin's future at this point. It's tied to his personality and what he's known for. But like as a guy who is championing Bitcoin, I think he knows how detrimental it could be if you have a guy hawking horse shit on the internet. Because so many people for so many years, since I've been following cryptocurrency, so many people still think, like you'll still hear like, Liz Warren, like politicians will come out and be like, oh, it's just used to buy drugs or for sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Like they still think that's what it's tied to, and it's because of projects that Ben was talking about that people don't trust. Like it makes the entire culture around good cryptocurrencies untrustworthy.
Yeah.
Up next is relapse.
Yeah, so this is where the story starts to turn dark.
Oh,
And
no.
like we said, Ben was thrown out of his own YouTube channel, Hit Network. I don't understand. Maybe you know more about this, Kaylee. I don't understand how he
No.
put himself in a position where a network owned his YouTube channel.
So the only thought process, because I thought about that a whole bunch, my only thought on that is that he at some point sold off the majority interest to different investors. So
I guess,
he
yeah.
now only owned 45%. That's the only thing that I can figure out from this. Getting fired from your own channel is insane.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. And the way he talked about money, you would think he would have enough money to fund 10 million more careers. Like he talked about money in a way where you're like, oh, he's set for life. And the first time, the slightest skids are hit in his career, things started to turn bad. So let's hear about his alleged relapse.
Quick, I see some people in the comments talking about addressing allegations. Guys, I have not relapsed. I have not relapsed. That is a lie. Here is what they've done. Justin Williams and TJ have cooked up this plot because I take diet pills. I take phentermine. Anybody can look this up. Everybody knows. My wife knows. Cassie knows. Everybody knows. Phentermine is a weight loss pill that you take. There's a weight clinic that's been part of how I've been able to take all this weight off and keep it off. And they've been bringing this up as an issue to me. And now they've gone so far as to say that taking it's not over the counter selling prescription, but taking this phentermine, and they've tried to trap me several times in the last couple of weeks and be like, "Are you taking something else?" And be like, "No, it's diet pills. I act a little erratic. You guys, if you've ever seen erratic behavior on my channel, it's because I've been taking those diet pills, and everybody knows it. It's not a secret." And that's what they're trying to put out there. They're trying to put out there that I've relapsed. That they've been accusing me of doing cocaine and all kinds of stuff, and it's just factually incorrect.
Okay, well, nothing to see then. We're not going to see him act erratic for the rest of this time. And, if you see him acting a little loopy, he's just on diet pills. Casey, what's our next clip? Oh, Casey's gone again.
Well, let me just make a comment about
Yeah,
that
please.
in that case. While
Well, I
he's
was
gone.
setting up to see him acting crazy, but now go ahead. Caleb.
Let me tell you, have never. Okay, so I intentionally did not listen to Ben Armstrong talking before you and I did this podcast. I have read a lot about him. I have tried to learn a lot about him, but I intentionally did not listen to clips of him. If you just played me that clip, I would be like, dude, that guy is so coked the fuck up. Like, that is the most coked up person that I've ever heard in my entire life talking about how they're not coked up. No.
You're not listening to him, woman? It's diet pills.
I know that I'm a dumb woman, but that
he's
man is on
weight
cocaine.
Drastically. Wouldn't you act a
From
little
cocaine?
jittery? No. It's all diet pills.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
sorry.
so like
I'm very dumb.
People are making these accusations. So are we going to his live stream next, Casey?
Well, I have BitBoy X. Yeah, new channel is what it's called.
Oh, okay. All right. Before we get the live stream, really, the only reason we're here is for me to show you guys clips of this live stream. It's wild. This is all fluff explaining who BitBoy is and everything. I'm just excited to show you the live stream, which was the true meltdown of his career. But first, let's hear about his new channel, because this is around the time where I was like, what's old Benny been up to? So he gets thrown out of his company, and he says, hey, ain't nobody ever going to kill BitBoy Crypto.
Yeah. Guys, I've been under threat of blackmail. I've been extorted for my Lamborghini. That's gone. I've been under literal
Why
death
the
threat.
Lamborghini
Literally
is
told my
always,
wife-
even the thieves need the Lamborghini. That's always the central focus of his money. It's not, hey, we need $3 million. It's, hey, we need that Lamborghini.
They were going to
Thieves
put
want to
me
look rich.
I guess so, yeah.
under the ground, put me under concrete over money. Literally said that. I've got a recording of it, as well as we have the police report. This was said to my wife. Remember whose honor we're all supposed to be protecting here, right? What I did to my family. That's what they're claiming. But yet, they're willing to blackmail me and say, send a text to me and my wife the night before everything broke, or the morning that everything broke, and say, hey, guys, we can keep this a family. This is what Hit Network has done. We can keep this a family matter. We don't have to come out with everything. But if you don't make a statement by 12 o'clock today, then you're done. And that's what I was told. And so the video that came out certainly was true. I mean, most of it, except for when I walked back some things that I said about some people, namely Justin Williams. And the fact is I was under duress, and I've been under duress, guys. Like, when people see what they did to me with this Lamborghini, trying to bleed me out, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bleed me out of money so I can't fight.
Okay, so hold on. This is where he makes his new channel, and he's pleading to his audience. He's like, hey, guys, look at all these things they've done to me. They've threatened me. They've said they're going to murder me, apparently, which Hit Network takes their name very literally. They're willing to go to the ends of the earth to wipe Ben off the planet, apparently. So they're after Ben. They're bad dudes after him. And he turns to his audience and says, hey, I'm starting this new channel. I'm working from the ground up. And it's not going to be easy. So I'm going to need you guys.
Mike, I just want you to know that he is, while he's making this wonderful plea, which I have never actually seen him make before, he is wearing a bright blue cutoff sleeve shirt. And I will tell you right now, I have never trusted anybody to give me financial advice in a cutoff sleeve shirt.
Well, the man is on diet pills. He's trying to show off his new body.
All right. Okay. All right. You're right. You're right.
But,
I respect it now.
So he's turning to his audience, and let's see how he finishes this plea.
And so today, as I put $20 in my gas tank earlier that I had to borrow from someone because I've been 100% cut off from all my money. My wife's American Express card, well, that wasn't paid for the last month. That wasn't paid. It was supposed to be getting paid by people that work for me, and they didn't do it. So the credit card's maxed out. And guys, we're in a tough spot here because they're trying to make me stop fighting. And so I humbly ask that if I've ever done anything for you, if I've ever encouraged you, if I've ever given you a dream that you might have something different, if some of my content has helped you, or if you're on the outside of this situation looking in and you see how dirty what's happening is, then I humbly ask that you donate. We have ERC20 address, Ethereum or stablecoin. Stablecoins would be best, but whatever you want to donate is fine. If you have other stuff you want me to list addresses, Bitcoin address or something, I can do that too. Stable coins, like I said, are the easiest right now. So we're trying to fund the legal fund. They took the Lamborghini, so I couldn't sell it, like obviously. And I'm in a bad spot right here, guys. And
so I don't know too much about, I don't know too much about nothing. I'm just a simple man. But I will say, if you see a guy talking about generational wealth all the time and, stacking cash, like making all this money, and he talks about the Lambo and the watches he has, and he's this investing expert, and he knows how to create generational wealth. For example, if you saw, that smug Warren Buffett has given everyone advice over the years. If Berkshire Hathaway says to him tomorrow, "Hey, Warren, we've been waiting for you to die too long. Hit the bricks, old man. Get the hell out of here. We don't want anything to do with you." If he makes a video the next day saying, like, "Guys, I don't have any gas money. Could you give me a few? Could you give me a few dollars?"
Yeah, you want
that would be troubling, and it would make me think, like, maybe he wasn't. Maybe I shouldn't drive the same Oldsmobile or whatever the fuck his advice was. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you think maybe all the advice he was giving wasn't so good if the next day he doesn't have fucking gas money. And it is a symptom of all these people that we talk about very often on this channel, where they want to be both things. They're the hero and the victim, where Ben is capable of being this guy that everyone should admire. All the guys want to be him and the girls want to be with him. And then the second he doesn't have access to as much of his finances, he's like, "Guys, I'm going to need a few shekels. I'm going to need all your help. Why don't you get in there? Give me money for gas and food. My family needs it. What do you say?
Give me your Jew gold. I need the Jew gold. Bring it over here." Yes, it's very important.
We are to the live stream, and Warren Buffett drives a Cadillac, by the way.
Oh, he's always saying you should buy an inexpensive car, but whatever. He's a fraud. The next video is about Warren Buffett. I'm taking him down next. All right, so this is. So far, you might be saying, "Mike, the guy's a little unhinged, but so what?" And I'll tell you, so what. This is the video that drew me to the demise of Ben Armstrong, BitBoy Crypto. There's a 37-minute version of it on YouTube. If you're interested in this, I recommend you go watch the whole thing. Carlos Diaz is a man who evidently worked for Hit Network and worked with TJ and all these people, Justin Williams and all these people that BitBoy is alleging conspiracies over. This Carlos Diaz supposedly took his Lamborghini. And this is where BitBoy is on a mission to get it back from Carlos.
And it goes
Carlos' house. This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming, and I'm going to be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz, who Carlos Diaz is. I'm going to be talking about all the people he's affiliated with. I'm going to be talking about how he got into my building. I'm going to talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready. He just answered the door, so I know this is him for sure, right here. I'm not scared of you, Carlos. I'm not scared.
That's my favorite part. We'll get to just how scared he was in a moment. But I like the idea that he's screaming into the wind. "I'm not scared of you, Carlos." Now, this is a man who is strictly on diet pills. Let's not forget that, by the way.
Of course. That's the only thing, obviously, in that video. It reminds me so much, and obviously you and I are both Dabbleverse adjacent. It reminds me so much of John showing up outside of Melton's house and us all getting to see him.
I didn't think of that, yeah.
Like, it is just, this is a man who is terrified and needs to show that he's not terrified by yelling at an inanimate object.
Yes, and we'll get to exactly how performative this is in a moment. But he's constantly talking about people being after him and being scared. Again, this is a 37-minute video that we chopped up, but these are just some of the highlights.
All right, next one's Unhinged.
Yeah, so I can't imagine what that's about. I'm just...
Guys, I have legitimately been scared for my life for weeks. And when I told the people who I told I was coming over here, I said, come hell or high water, if Carlos Diaz comes out of his house and tries to kill me, live on YouTube, then it's just going to have to be what it's going to be, Carlos, because I am not scared
By
of
the
you
way,
anymore.
just for clear, he keeps referring to Carlos being in the mafia. There's phone recordings of him and Carlos. Carlos seems to be like trying to talk sense into him. He's like, "Hey man, I don't know what to tell you. They just told me to take the Lamborghini. I don't know what you want from me."
Here I am on Berkeley Lane in Duluth, Georgia, in front of Carlos's house. I go knock on the door, and you know what he does? He turns and he runs because he's a pussy.
Hold on, this is the murderer you were talking about? The guy who's after you to kill you? He's a pussy and he's scared of you. That's good. God, damn the luck. This poor hitman is hired for a job where the one person he has to kill, he's petrified of. Man, that's bad luck.
It turns out that when you are yelling at a house, nothing matters.
Well, he's a coward. That's why he has to yell at the house, because the man has gone in a puff of smoke out the back door. He's terrified.
Has single-handedly brought down my entire business. This man, this is the one who TJ and Justin hired.
Yeah, so that he's getting a little unhinged here. And he's showing very specific. He's not showing his vehicle, which we will get into. That is a big point of this, where Ben is a family man. We heard him in an earlier video reference his wife. He also references a woman named Cassie in that video, which is interesting. And I think we're getting close to the payoff here.
Yeah, not paranoid is the next one.
Oh, he's definitely not paranoid. That much we can see. He's like, listen, he's a reasonable guy who is at the house of the man who wants to murder him. And this is all very sensible. By the way, I don't know if it fully captures it, but like there's neighbors getting concerned and walking by. And he's like, I come in peace. He's like yelling things at the neighbors.
Yeah, this is like a fancy neighborhood that he's
has
causing
gone and
a scene
disrupted in this neighborhood. Yeah.
I have absolutely nothing against Ben.eth. Okay, hold on. I gotta watch out in case this is actually. I gotta make sure that I can get some protection if I need it. Okay.
There's a gun in
Just
his
a neighbor.
back seat.
Just a neighbor.
Is what he's referring to.
Well, you guys see, when I see a car coming down the street, I have to think about protecting myself. That's where I'm at, guys. This is not paranoia.
Oh.
This is not a crazy person. This is not
it's
someone
a
who is
sane man. It's a perfectly sane individual that we're listening to.
addict. This is not someone who is on drugs. This is someone who has been in the fear for his life for too long. And now, somebody just texted me, said they're going to call the cops. I will really enjoy the cops.
I dare you. We'll arrest Carlos together. I dare you to call the cops.
I really enjoy it.
So he's excited. He's excited the cops are going to come. He's very excited. He's hoping for that. That's good news. Thank God.
He's like, and then we're going to have our tin hats and everything is going to be amazing and everybody's going to believe every word that I say. That's where he's at right now.
I'm glad the cops are coming. Hopefully they let me cuff Carlos. That's all I can ask of these fine officers.
The hero of the story.
Yes.
Yeah, the police have arrived. Here we go.
Oh, good. So it's important to note again, he is live streaming all of this. If you're wondering why this is all captured on, he is live. I think on Twitter, maybe YouTube. I forget which.
He's live on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
And based
on
on
his new channel.
Based on my research of this, to give a little bit more backstory also, which maybe we will get into this, but he posted this live stream a couple of days before he actually live streamed it. So he titled the video something like, "I'm going to get my Lamborghini back."
People were excited. The Bit Squad was like, hey, finally, restitution.
Restitution for BitBoy Crypto, but in addition to that, Carlos knows that he is coming.
That's a good point,
because
too,
it is literally, this has been a posted video. Everybody knows that this is going to happen, that he is going to go live during this time, and that will come back to bite him very much in the ass, is my understanding of what we're about to see.
Yeah, so the cops come, and let's see what transpires.
I better hurry up quickly here. He told me he went out there and roughed up Ben.eth fought him and beat him up, and Maxine Waters, a politician, told him to kill Ben.ETH with a fentanyl syringe.
Boy,
Hey,
this
guys.
feels this. That really
That's
felt. I'm
paranoid.
glad we started there. That really felt like fucking John Nash in A Beautiful Mind.
Zero paranoia.
I went to the Dropbox, but I don't have the schematics.
Hey, do me a favor.
Yep.
Hey, stop.
How's it going? Oh, him?
Stop.
Oh, stop. I couldn't
You
hear.
have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
Okay.
Okay.
I could if you want me to.
Whatever.
Yeah, he does.
Sorry, I
20
reached
feet
too fast.
away.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay.
Put
Okay.
your phone down.
Okay. I'll put the phone down.
Yeah.
Okay, this sucks for Ben. Poor Benny thinks, all right, I gotta stay streaming here because I want them to see justice being served. And when you have an ego like Ben's, it's tough to swallow what's about to happen here. Unfortunate. I don't want to get into another man's business, but Ben did kind of bring it onto himself a little bit.
I have to tell you, I am so excited right now.
Oh, you haven't seen this. That's right.
I am aware of this video.
Okay,
I have never actually seen this.
Oh,
and
it's
like
fun.
my anticipation levels, I'm on the edge of my seat. I
It's a lot of
cannot
fun.
wait. Gimme.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the phone down.
Put the fanny pack down.
Oh, that angle.
What's going on?
What's going on? This man inside of this house.
Actually, he's gonna check you real quick.
Absolutely.
Just the weapons.
I'm sorry. I have a. Okay. Okay.
Oh my God,
Okay,
so many
yep.
diet pills this man is on.
No weapons. No
Where in
weapons.
the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Yep.
Is anybody else in the car?
Yes, there's someone in the car.
Who's in the car? Who?
What's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Do it.
Okay. Let's.
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my car.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
I shot the clerk.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So, for those that don't know, Cassie is his
Mistress.
who works for him. And listen, I'm not going to get into another man's business. Like I said, none of my business what their problems at home are or whatever. It is just you can hear him there go, "Who's in the car?" I'm sorry, you're saying you're asking me who's in the car? He's trying to like transform language to get the cop to think he asked something. You're asking me what's in the car, right? You certainly don't mean who's in the car.
Yeah,
The cop's like,
it's cocaine and guns but who is in the car? That's a whole nother question. I'm like, he literally looks into the camera. He
Yes.
looks down. The camera is on the ground, and he looks into the camera, and he throws his hands up into the air in the like what position?
He
And
remembers
goes-
he's still streaming.
He goes, Cassie is in the car. That is the most amazing thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Holy crap. That is a caught man. There has never been a man who has been caught cheating in that way ever before.
Oh,
Beautiful.
well, let's
Beautiful.
go. Casey, could you go back just a couple seconds just because I want to give proper context here. It gets worse. Ben tries to dig himself out of it here.
Okay. Let's.
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yeah, look at
Who's
the
in your
camera,
truck,
baby.
sir?
Cassie's is in my car. Cassie's in my
All
truck.
right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this.
She
Well,
does
my wife
not.
is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We've got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie's a girl I had
And
an affair
growing.
with. She's involved in the situation with me and this guy here. My wife knows.
I like the idea that the cops would be like, "Oh, pretty good. 2,500 live right now." I mean, that so many more are going to watch it later. That's pretty impressive.
You're imagining the cop going up to the camera and going, hashtag DC police.
Hi, Bit Squad.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah, he's not done yet, I don't think.
Just at my daughter's
no.
tennis match.
Be
Cassie and I
done.
have came over here because this man is extorting me. He's death threatening me. He stole my Lamborghini. My Lamborghini
death
is
threatening
in his garage right now.
Yeah, so it kind of
He's
it goes on from there, but it's sort of inaudible. He walks further away from the phone, so it lasts another 10 minutes or something, but you can't really hear what he's saying that well.
that is the most insane thing I literally don't even know how to deal with that. I don't even know how to deal with that. At this point, he had been fired from the hit company, which is effectively what made him go to try to reclaim his Lamborghini, which he publicized, which of course meant that he was going to get arrested because obviously he was doing bullshit. Why would you bring your mistress on this mission?
It's a wild move, especially when you're live streaming. The arrogance to just be like, oh, well, I'll just keep the camera away from her. You know what I mean?
That's
it's like
insane.
Why have her there if that's the idea? Now, we're going to get more into the wife in a second. We're going to hear his apology to his wife and talk about how that all played out. But first, I want to go back just a minute because remember he told you about the incident with Carlos when Carlos is a pussy.
Yep.
Carlos is a big pussy.
Yeah,
Carlos
obviously.
saw him, and he's like, this guy's been on a real diet. He's lost a lot of weight. I'm terrified of him. I'm going to run away like a scared little baby.
He's got them scary
unfortunately-
diet pills.
God damn this technology, because there was ring camera footage that displays when Ben showed up to Carlos's house. It's unfortunate.
Yes, ring camera. Here we go.
Behavior. Now, on top of acting inappropriately, Ben also likes to lie to his audience to bend the narrative to whatever story he currently wants to spin. In the live stream, Ben claims that he knocked on Carlos' door to confront him and that Carlos ran away in fear. However, Carlos, the man who lived in the house, later posted the ring footage of the incident, which shows the opposite happen, with Ben running away like a little child after knocking on the door.
I go knock on the door, and you know what he does? He turns and he runs because he's a pussy.
I don't see too well. Was it him shaking his fist at Carlos?
It's literally John at Melton's house. That's literally what we just saw. He walks up to the door, and then he rings the doorbell, and then he walks away, and then he stands for like a quarter of a second, and then he walks entirely away.
Whose channel was that, Casey?
That one was Schaefer Scott Schaefer.
Shout out to Scott Shaver. Thanks for putting that together because it does. It's wild. Again, just to to see how blatantly he manipulates his audience. Where, like, to me, I've always had a hard time with this. I'm very naive in this sense. I guess now, as I've grown older, I'm more accepting the idea of pathological liars because lies out of like thin air never made sense to me. I get like misinterpretations and all that stuff, but pathological liars is always where I was like very naive and never really understood it as a boy. Where like it made no sense to me the idea that Ben could say into a camera, "Oh, Carlos ran away, he's a big pussy." And then you have proof that the opposite happened. That was at one time in my life that was unfathomable to me. And I've had to deal with a lot of people like Ben to get it through my noggin that people like that exist. It is kind of amazing.
You know, and I think that trust comes back to almost everything that we talk about in life, but in particular cryptocurrency. We have to trust cryptocurrency in order for it to exist. If we don't trust cryptocurrency, then it is nothingness. And you know, I trust the blockchain more than I trust the government, but that also means that because crypto is so built on trust, that when somebody breaches our trust in the same way that Ben did, it's that much worse. It's that much more horrific. It's that much more egregious because this is a person that I'm supposed to trust as a quote unquote financial advisor. And now here we are seeing him do exactly the opposite of what the truth was. You are supposed to be talking truth because you're talking about math, aka crypto. Like,
well, listen,
crazy.
He may have lied to us, his audience, but he's a loyal husband. You got to at least give him that. And I'm sure he's got a very good explanation as to why Cassie was in that car. So Kaylee sent over a video. I wasn't able to find this, so I appreciate you finding it for me. I saw it years ago a year ago when I originally did this kind of deep dive into Ben, but on this search I wasn't able to find it. So now I'm excited to see for the second time his apology to his wife. Do we have that?
Yep. Let me get that real quick.
All right. So people started pointing out, they're like, that's kind of a weird answer Ben gives. He's very awkward that Cassie. What's really weird about that is like Cassie, I believe, worked for him. Now his wife might have put together like, hey, what the fuck? These aren't work hours. But he did it in such a way that made it obvious to the entire audience. Like, I don't think he wanted us to know that she was in that car. So he made it very obvious. People called him out for it. Again, what people do behind closed doors is their business, not mine. But I do think this helps paint the picture of just exactly who we're dealing with here.
People know at this point, and if you don't, you're going to know now. I had an affair. I did. And I know that I have a family brand. That's my brand. Family. And this is my family.
Oh, that's another good point that we didn't really touch on. He built his entire thing around not just a guy that dealt with drug addiction, but he rehabilitated himself to a family man. That was a big thing. Talking about his kids, talking about creating wealth for his kids, talking about loving his wife. All of that was part of his persona.
And I had an affair, and it went on for a while. And, you know, the other person is not a bad person. I want to say that. I take full responsibility for all of this.
It's very big of him.
If I found out that my significant other was cheating on me, and the first thing that they said was the other person is not a bad person, I would be like, fuck you, get the fuck out. Like, what? That's his response to this, and part of his apology to his wife is Cassie's not a bad person.
Well, there's a reason, Kaylee, there's a reason he's saying that. There's a reason he wants to make sure everyone knows that Cassie's not a bad person, because after this video, he left his wife for Cassie.
Well.
And he did it in a way where he tagged both of them on Twitter.
Oh, no.
He said, hey, I'm leaving @wife for @Cassie.
Listen, social media is very important. We all know that. Good for him.
Do we want to see the wife forgive him now that we know she got left on Twitter?
What the hell? Yeah, why not? Let's see the Mrs. Except, I'm glad we have that, because I was gonna say there was like a podcast or something. She stood by his side. This piece.
Oh
of
yeah,
shit.
she was so into him. Which is insane.
She was a dutiful wife. She was very loyal, and it did not repay her.
It's a man with a Lambo. That's the kind of ladies like.
True.
You know, I love him so much, and all couples go through hard times, and I believe in redemption, and I believe in hope, and I fully believe that Ben and we've invested too much in our relationship for either one of us to walk away. So we are committed to making us a priority. And
is that him sniffing? Is that
yes.
pills that he's doing?
Fake crying.
Was he weeping?
Fake crying.
Okay.
No tears.
So their relationship was FTX, apparently. They invested in it and both got burned at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. There were no actual tears there. Do we have a picture of Cassie?
I'll try to find one real quick.
I would very much. I imagine. Okay, so like Ben Armstrong, for some reason to me, it feels like he has a type.
Hell yeah!
I feel like
Okay.
Cassie. I feel like Cassie is gonna look exactly like the now ex-wife.
Listen, this is what you in the stock market. This is what you call an uptrade. You sold your penny
really?
stock and you got yourself a damage. Yes.
All right, I'm very excited now.
Oh.
All right, here is Cassie.
Is that what you were
Okay,
expecting?
so she looks like she's had some plastic surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like she still needs to get her teeth done. I am not one to judge teeth, but
Mike, she looks like she fits in a Lambo perfectly. I'm just saying.
yes,
Nice.
that is a very good description.
Well, good for Ben.
That
Well, these
looks like
ladies,
Kaylee's
these ladies are all very loyal to him, so he's got something going for him, I guess.
And then also, didn't he just have some actions? Bring us up to speed. What's going on with him currently?
Oh yeah, so we have a lot of things have happened.
Yes, Kaylee's told me we're the first place to discuss this. This is breaking news. This is big.
As far as I can tell, we are the first channel, news outlet, anything to be talking about what has happened in the last 2 days.
Wow.
So after BitBoy has this awful live stream, he loses his contacts with Hit Network. He goes to jail several times for different things, including that he is threatening a judge at one point.
Yes, yeah, we have that kind of explanation. He just got out of jail like a few days ago. His mugshot was just released a few days ago. So there's been a lot going on with him.
He looks very disheveled nowadays. He looks like oh my God, Manson. He looks like Charles Manson, right?
I've heard people make that comparison. Yeah, there's a weird thing happening with his YouTube channel where videos were being edited and uploaded to make them seem current for a little while. Even though he wasn't making new videos, they were kind of taking pieces of old video. It was like AI Ben for a little while. And now the channel seems to have been down for a couple months at least, I think. So,
well, so let me kind of explain the things that have happened since March of 2025. So in March of 2025, he goes to jail. I think that's actually the mugshot that we're looking at right now.
Yes.
This was based on a fugitive warrant based on the emails that he was sending to a judge where he was threatening that judge. One day after he goes to jail, Kevin O'Leary, a.k.a. Mr. Wonderful
My guy,
from
yeah.
Shark Tank, files a lawsuit against Ben Armstrong. And this lawsuit is a defamation lawsuit because Ben Armstrong went on all of his social media platforms and he said things like, Kevin O'Leary killed a guy. He murdered people, which is only sort of true. It's only sort
Don't
of
get
true.
me sued. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not
Yeah,
true at all.
yeah,
Mr. Wonderful's a great man. I've interviewed him. He's a terrific guy.
I am completely in love with him. I love Shark Tank. He's like my favorite shark. Come on. I don't even want to. He's literally my favorite shark of all the land. So he claims, effectively what happens is Ben claims that Kevin murdered a couple. And then he says that Kevin and his wife paid to cover up the murder.
Where is he getting this information?
So the real story behind this is that there was a boating accident relating to Kevin O'Leary and his wife.
Okay, gotcha.
And so there is people did die, and that did involve Kevin O'Leary. However, did he murder them? No, both he and his wife were acquitted.
Gotcha.
So Ben Armstrong,
for a little background, if people are wondering why he would even be talking about Kevin O'Leary was involved with FTX, I believe, the whole Sam Bankman-Fried scandal. And Ben, in order to, I guess, try to create buzz or something, he went looking for Sam Bankman-Fried. He did this performative, like, I'm going to the islands, I'm going to get Sam Bankman-Fried. And he's not a cop. I don't know what he could have done, but it was this performative thing. So he did all this, and I'm sure that Kevin O'Leary stuff was wrapped up in all of that.
Yes, you are 100% correct. The last thing that he did to Kevin O'Leary that got him sued was that he doxed Kevin O'Leary's cell phone number.
Oh, good.
And they did end up finding, I will tell you, the punchline of that portion of it is that it was found to be legally irresponsible to dox Kevin O'Leary's cell phone number. So he is being legally held responsible for that. But what happens is, so on March 25th, 2025, Ben goes to jail because he threatened a judge in a different legal battle. On March 26th, Kevin O'Leary files this lawsuit about defamation, all about all of these horrible things that Ben has done. He stays in jail for 15 days. He gets released on April 10th. So he stays in jail. He cannot bond out of this lawsuit. Right. That is a big challenge.
After my last clip, I think, gives context to the threatening of the judge. If we want to play that real quick.
I want to hear that, yeah.
Right, yeah, let me grab that one real quick. But that's the one we skipped, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is my last clip.
Yeah, what happened to BitBoy Crypto? This is Unfiltered Truth Stole. Hold on a second. Here we go. Another
Crypto world. Ben Armstrong, better known as BitBoy Crypto, has been arrested again. Armstrong was taken into custody in Volusia County, Florida, on March 25, 2025. He has been classified as a fugitive from justice and is presently being held without bail. So, what happened? Reports state that Armstrong allegedly sent threatening emails to Cobb County Superior Court Judge Kimberly Childs while representing himself in a legal case. Just days before his arrest, he even took to social media to acknowledge the warrants against him, calling Judge Childs dishonorable and claiming she deleted her accounts after receiving his messages.
Yeah, so he thinks he's like this. He's constantly coming to us for like, come on, guys, let's get him. Like he thinks he's gonna rally us around him and go, "You're Ben. It's injustice. What's happening? These people are wrong for mistreating you." And the more and more unhinged he gets, the less and less that happens.
Yeah, I don't usually like to think that people have a pattern of harassment, but he truly does. Like, that's all he is doing at all times. It's completely insane. Because he's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin files the lawsuit against him. He's in jail for about 15 days. He finally gets out of jail. Then he goes back into jail. So twice during the time of this one lawsuit, he manages to go to jail. His most recent stint in jail is this middle mugshot that we're looking at down here where he looks like Charlie Manson, where he went to jail for 6 counts of harassing phone calls. So again, this pattern of harassment. He goes to jail on June 26th. On June 27th, he bonds out from jail. And now, 15 days after he has bonded out of jail, we get the court's decision on the Kevin O'Leary lawsuit. Ooh. And I am so excited about this because nobody has talked about this yet, and it is huge news.
Well, give it to us, for God's sake.
Okay, so again, Kevin O'Leary, he sues him because he has doxed him. He has claimed that him and his wife murdered people.
Do we want to watch a
things.
video of what BitBoy did and said about Kevin? It's only a minute, and that might give you a little context.
Sure.
I would love that.
Sure.
Yeah. Hold on. Here we go.
We know that's his track record. Then you see what he did with these other companies where he claimed that he didn't. And here's the best part. I want you to notice the way that criminal cases are handled by Kevin O'Leary, the same way that the civil cases are. They're paid off, period. They are paid off. Bribes, okay? When you look at the fact, no one was held accountable for 2 deaths that Kevin and his wife admittedly acknowledged they caused. Intentional or unintentional. They caused it. Their boat literally ran into this other boat, killed 2 people, okay? Then you look at the civil cases and you find...
That is wildly irresponsible.
Yes.
He says he doesn't know the companies. The companies come back and say, no, here's a video. You did videos for us. You talked about us. And then Kevin says, well, yeah, promotional videos for you. Or the companies are like, so you do know who you are. And then the judges are like, dismissed, debunked. How can that get dismissed?
I'm surprised Kevin O'Leary wasted his time with BitBoy at this juncture because he was not the success that he used to be. He didn't have the attention on him. But I like Mr. Wonderful, so I'm glad that he was like, just crush this ant. Who cares? Fuck him.
I think a lot of it has to do also with the Atosy lawsuit. At this point, this person is being irresponsible. And I think that Mr. Wonderful, again, somebody that I also respect, I think that he cares about people who care about the financial realm. And so when you have somebody that has as much of a following or had as much of a following as BitBoy Crypto does, Kevin O'Leary doesn't want to mess up the financial trust and respect by allowing somebody like this into that universe.
Right.
And I think that was probably more of the cause of the lawsuit than anything else. Sure, BitBoy Crypto did, in fact, defame Kevin O'Leary, which is what the court found 2 days ago on July 14th. I don't even know what month it is. July? We're in July
Yes,
right
July.
now, right? Yeah, July 14th. 2 days ago, the court granted default judgment in this case. The court agreed and said, yes, Kevin O'Leary is correct. BitBoy Crypto did, in fact, defame him. the only thing that was denied within this motion was that the court decided to withhold the amount of damages that Ben Armstrong is going to owe to Kevin O'Leary because it's very challenging to calculate amounts like that. So they're going to have an evidentiary hearing in October based on that. But the court has literally said Ben fucked up legally. And Kevin O'Leary was right. And he owes Kevin O'Leary money. And that's amazing. And again, I think that the reason that Kevin cares about things like this is because who wants to have somebody egregiously fucking up the financial sector in the same way that Ben Armstrong has? And he has.
And I'd be curious, Casey, could you pull up his Twitter, BitBoy, Ben Armstrong? I don't know what his Twitter is right now. But I'd be curious to see if he's been tweeting at all. Because this is a guy, he seems... You can't squash him. Like, you gotta almost admire his resilience, because no matter what you throw at this guy, what is amazing, and you know what, maybe I should have had more videos that kind of showed this, but after that live stream that we watched, and after the tearful apology with the wife, and then leaving the wife, and after all these embarrassments, after the Atosy loss, pick your embarrassment, he keeps then making videos where he's like, here's why Ethereum is a good investment. And like, he thinks people are going to take him seriously. It is stunning. Like, I admire the bravado in a way, but I am also glad. Here's the one area where I'm like, I'm glad I have some level of self-loathing and lack of confidence, is that, like, with the harassment stuff, if you step back, at some point, there has to be a time where you tell yourself, clearly I'm wrong here. Clearly, if this person doesn't want to answer my calls, or I can't get this keeps happening over and over again and again to me, I must be in the wrong. But he doesn't have an ounce of that, and it is truly amazing to watch.
Is Twitter? I'm looking at now. It's pretty boring.
Okay.
June
What's his
6th,
last? Okay, so he hasn't tweeted since June 6th.
Yeah, if anyone would like to include a positive message to Ben in a letter, please comment below. So it's sort of it looks like it's run by people.
All right.
Okay, so June 6th was 20 days before his last jail stint.
I'll be curious to see if he makes a comeback at all. I guess that's now what we're monitoring.
But how can he make a comeback at this point? He
kept doing it. Wouldn't you have said that after that live stream? If you watched that live, wouldn't you say like, oh, well, he's done, obviously?
Well, I guess I will never understand the people who like promote any crypto that isn't Bitcoin. Like, I think that maybe it's just beyond me of understanding of how I would invest in that. And maybe it's the same way that people feel like there's like a intelligence level that you have in order to be able to invest in stocks and bonds. There's something that I don't get about it. And so will I ever listen to this guy? No, I don't trust him in any way, shape, or form. Will he still potentially convince young, dumb kids to invest in whatever cryptocurrency he creates 1 month from now? Probably.
And if you got like, if this video,
he's going to create Cassie coin for fuck's sake.
That's right. If the video that we're doing here, if that inspires you to do your own deep dive into Ben Armstrong, what you'll see is a lot of other videos from people, maybe channels like this or whatever, where people are like, hey, to those of you that still trust Ben Armstrong, and then a clip of him sounding like an idiot. So there are a lot of people actively out there like that can't wrap their heads around the fact that people still trust him. But I go back to, I guess it's a compliment, but like, he is a good broadcaster. Yeah. And I think that's why there's a charisma to him. He's got a thing. It's not for me. Like, I find it to be bullshit. But he's got a thing that a certain personality type does rally around. And there's still people that I'm sure think he's innocent and will buy whatever bullshit he comes out with. Benjamin coin or whatever version of his name, Armstrong coin, whatever version of his name he has left that he hasn't tried to make into a meme coin. I'm sure he'll try to do it.
I think that you're right about that, and there is something admirable about that level of charisma. On the other hand, boy, do I hate it. But maybe he'll continue being a success. Again, maybe it's Cassie coin next time, or whoever the mistress to Cassie is.
Yeah,
we don't know.
See.
If there was one place on the planet where you can come back, make a comeback, this is the place.
It's
right.
crypto.
Let me give you a
And
name.
YouTube, yeah.
Martin Shkreli. You know that name? I mean, that guy's floating around. He's okay. He's okay. He just charged cancer patients.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need him.
medication.
He's got AIDS medicine or whatever. Whatever the fuck he's got.
Yeah, this is the one place you can really kind of just do anything and come back and have a pump and dump, baby.
There is a great. I do recommend the complete sidetrack, but go watch Shane Gillis with Martin Shkreli on Legion of Skanks. Shane does an amazing job of calling him out for being an asshole. It's very funny.
Martin Shkreli might be a good candidate for this show, by the way.
Oh, that's not a bad suggestion.
I got a few super chats here, Mike.
All right, let's hear them.
All right. I miss old Howard Stern, $4.99, don't we all? I feel like a dope for watching BitBoy as long as I did.
Yeah, but again, I get it. I do get
charming.
why you. I found him to be intolerable, but there's a personality type. Like, take what he's saying. Take the Bencoin stuff out of it. I get why you'd like his videos about Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and that type of stuff. I do understand that he is charming, like you said.
All right. I miss old Howard Stern, $1.99. Don't forget Ben's Mr. X scam.
Oh, I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
So many scams that you can't remember. That's quite the guy to cover.
How long have we been on? And we missed a scam that he has.
145.
Yeah.
I have notes all over my screen right now, and they're like lawsuit, canceled, released from jail. I don't think I actually have notes on a single scam, which is kind of ironic.
Like you said, it is a pattern where he's getting himself into trouble with this stuff.
BitBoy has been involved in 7 crypto scams in the past. All the projects he worked on either got exit scammed or rug pulled. 7.
That's right.
And the videos, honestly, the videos became more frequent. If he was specifically talking about, the 4 or 5 cryptos that I like, I would have checked in with him once in a while because it wasn't all just advice. He would talk about like news in the crypto world sometimes.
Catalyst.
Yeah, like he would talk about things going on. So like if I was looking for information, I might have checked out his channel. It just seemed to become so frequent where he's like, let me tell you about this project that I'm involved in. And to me, that's always, no thanks. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about it. You don't have to answer. Kaylee, do you own over 1 Bitcoin?
I do own over 1 Bitcoin.
Congratulations. Blind Mike.
And I will
Do you own over
continue
1
owning it forever.
None of your fucking business.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer, by the way.
Do you know how I got my 1 Bitcoin? Actually, that's a fun story.
You started buying it when it was 10 cents. So
No, I got 1 Bitcoin.
Pull
I got
quarters out of your pocket.
I used to do nail art. So I used to like paint drawings on my nails. And somebody paid me 1 Bitcoin to paint the word Bitcoin on my nails.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah, they're not telling the story the same way. I'm just
Yeah, right.
It was the days of buy a pizza for 100 Bitcoins.
I had a buddy.
Those were the days.
I had a buddy when I was in college. I want to say it was like 2013 or something. Buddy, I was staying at his house, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to get in on Bitcoin with me? They're $300 a piece." It was 300 and change. And I'm in college. At that time, I was like, $300?
No.
What are you, fucking nuts? I was like, I don't have $300. So I was like, absolutely not. And just to think, that same friend, he had 8 Bitcoin, and it was saved on a hard drive. It was before like real cold storage wallets, and he lost it. Like when he moved, he just doesn't have it anymore. And I guess maybe that happens to like. I always think I'd be suicidal if that happened to me.
No.
But like I talked to him about it now, and he's like, "Yeah, what can you do?" You know.
Okay, but part of the whole thing about creating a new currency is that it is only worth the value that it is worth. So when that person paid me 1 Bitcoin in order for me to paint my own nails, that was what it was worth to them at that time. That is what made us build it up into what it is now. And that's why it's so incredible. And that's why I love Bitcoin. And that is why I will always be a Bitcoin investor. And I am not a financial advisor, but I will always say it does not matter what the price is of Bitcoin. You should invest in it now. I am a firm believer of that. I do. I believe that.
Don't. Whichever, because we don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I will say I used to do a show on Patreon called More on Money, where I would talk about stocks and crypto and all that kind of stuff because I was interested in it and I like talking
Yeah.
about it. And I realized that it was getting kind of boring to me because I kept talking about the same 5 or 6 stocks and 3 or 4 cryptocurrencies that I was interested in. And I was like, hey, these to me seem safe, but do whatever you're interested in. Because to me, I think it's smart to invest in things you're interested in. And that way you follow them more. Like I invest in companies that I'm interested in following and that I use and things. So to me, it got boring. And I think that's often the case if you're being honest about investing. It gets very boring to talk about. And it's why you shouldn't trust people that try to make it very exciting the way BitBoy Crypto did.
Investments are about waiting a really long time. I wait a really long
Find
time.
a boring older gentleman to listen to talk about stocks and crypto.
My financial advisor is a no shit 92 years old. Ray K, what's up, brother? 92 years old, and he's been through like so many cycles. He doesn't invest in Bitcoin, and just smart advice from him. No more than like 10 to 20% of your total investment in any one thing, but especially like Bitcoin. Diversify. And again, I'm not a financial advisor either, but if you go in on all in one thing, you could have the greatest life ever, or you could literally bought Voyager like I did and was out a lot like I was,
And I feel very fortunate because my love of Bitcoin, Mike, it's like what you were just describing. The reason that I invested in Bitcoin is because I was so interested and enthralled by the math behind it, by the economics behind it. And that was what got me excited about it. So do I ever care? Am I very happy that Bitcoin has continued to go up overall? Yeah, I'm very happy about that. On the other hand, am I just excited to have been a part of something because it was something that was interesting and exciting to me? That's really where I get my rocks off, Yeah.
Or you buy a house, whichever.
We got one more super chat, Mike. Here.
Yeah, that's it.
I miss old Howard Stern, $4.99. Ben lost all sense of reality at the end. He said his lawyers turned on him and the judges were paid off. He would never accept he was wrong.
Well, it was a female judge, so
it seems so. Any final thoughts on Ben before we get out of here?
He's insane. Thank you so much for letting me research more about him.
I'm
really
glad you enjoyed him
this.
because it's an idea I had to do this episode. It's an idea I had when I started looking into him like a year ago and his downfall and everything. So but I didn't know if anyone would give a shit. Like the algorithm I've created here is all like comedy and podcasting based. So I didn't know if anyone would give a fuck about Ben Armstrong. So to those that do, I'm glad you were interested in it because he's a fascinating guy. But more importantly, a channel that's never going to let you down would be Once Over with Kaylee. What's going on there?
I'm very excited over there. I talk all about movie reviews over there, and I'm actually about to hit 5,000 subscribers. So if everybody would help me hit
Go subscribe.
5,000
Once Over with
subscribers.
Kaylee. It's tagged in the title. Click on it. Go over there.
Yeah, Cayley. I will be doing this upcoming Tuesday, which is I forgot that it was July. So Tuesday, July 22nd, I will be doing a live stream where I give the once over to myself. Usually I give the once over to movies and talk all about how I feel about movies, but I will be reviewing my old videos if I hit 5,000 subscribers. So
all right, very
it will
nice.
be fun. Yeah.
Casey Day, what's happening over at Hack Ride Studios?
Well, Mike, in about 12 minutes, we're going to be breaking down some Howard Stern. Sal Governale used to be a white rapper, Mike, and we're going to listen to him, his tale of being a white rapper and paying for studio time back in the day.
Oh, nice.
So a little Howard Stern.
I didn't realize that. I appreciate Casey Day doing double duty with us here. So go thank him by going over there right now and watching that with him. And we specifically have chatters named after Howard Stern. So go watch that right now. And thank you to all of you that super chatted. Thank you to those of you that watched and support the show. Like, subscribe, comment. All that helps more people find these videos. If you know of communities, because I imagine this video isn't getting out to the usual crypto algorithm, but if you know of anyone that would be interested in this, send it their way. It helps more people find the show. We appreciate it. BlindMike.net is where you can get all my links. wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate that. And if you want to become a member, you can do that on YouTube. You can also do it on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. You get early access and bonus content. We'll be live Sunday at 10 a.m. Craig will be back. I know how excited everyone is for that. And also on Patreon, Saturday night, we will be Craig and I will be playing the Quincy drinking game. So you get a double dose of the boys together again this weekend. Me and the Craigster. Back to our old hijinks. So watch that on Patreon, and we appreciate you guys. BlindMike.net. Thank you, Kaylee, for joining me. Thank you, Casey, for joining me. And we'll talk to you guys next time. I have no idea how regularly we'll do this, but if you guys like it enough, maybe we'll see if we can do it more often. And see you later.
This has been a Blind Mike investigation. Hit the subscribe button and leave a comment for more content like this. Have the day you deserve.